God knows that I've tried to. You said I was the only one. No one likes being lied to. You made this mess and left me with the pieces. Now I wanna burn all the bridges between us. I can't focus, I can't forget. I've been thinking too much lately. I just need to clear my head. I just need to clear my head. I've been stuck going on my way, but it's not like I need it. And we may have some history, but we don't have to repeat it. You made this mess and left me with the pieces. Now I'm gonna burn all the bridges between us. I can't focus, I can't forget. I've been thinking too much lately. I just need to clear my head. Oh, clear my head. I just need to 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 clear my head.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. I am Grant Magic, Magnate of the Virgan Republic. Yes, it's Magnate now. Go away, Alex. Yes, I'm the Magnate of the Virgan Republic. I'm also the host of Virgan Radio Service. We just listened to Ellis Clear My Head and AFISHAL drum remix, an NCS release, which you can find in the description below. You can also find the link to the VRS Discord server and the link the description below as well. This week I am joined by one Tsar Antonov of Obscurium. Hello.
Good afternoon.
How are you today?
I'm feeling well, despite having slept like 2 hours last night.
Boy, I know how that feels. I also didn't get a lot of sleep last night. Too busy out partying. Which is my own fault. But anyway, so a few weeks ago, Mr. Antonov here was on VRS, and he explained that he would be attending MicroCon 2019, and I subsequently invited him back. Yeah, I subsequently invited him back to talk about the goings on at MicroCon. Now, I assume that not everyone watching right now did go to MicroCon. If everyone watching right now did go to MicroCon, I'm extremely surprised. But let's get into what you did at MicroCon. So I got some pictures here to show off of Mr. Antonov at MicroCon, and some things that he did. So just make sure you're watching on the screen. So this is the first photo. It's Mr. Antonov with Kevin Ball. Tell me about Kevin Ball.
To be honest, Kevin Ball was just like I expected him to be. He was very, very nice. He was happy to talk to anyone who wanted to talk with him. Yeah, just like I expected him to be. We had a few conversations. Actually, the funny thing is, he was my neighbor, right? I had a display there. Many other people display too, including Molossia, and because they put up the displays in alphabetical order, M and O, there was no N. I was right next to M, Molossia, so we were neighbors. That was cool.
That's lucky you. What kind of
right next to.
Yeah. What kind of things?
Sorry.
Did you talk about with President Ball?
Well, first of all, I relay greetings to him from someone who served in the East German army, and he wanted him to know that the war is over for now, but they're trying to get the flag up again, and soon they'll be back. They meaning East Germany.
Yeah.
Because obviously Molossia is at war with East Germany.
Yes, well played, President Ball. Well played. I'm gonna showcase the next picture, which is this photo here. It's a man. I assume it's some nation's leader. I'm not entirely sure who.
Yeah, that's George 2.0 of Slabovia. He was the host of MicroCon 2019, and
okay.
he held a speech at the beginning of the presentations, obviously, because he's the king of the hosts. So yeah. He is a very, very nice guy as well. Talk to him a little as well, and later when we get to the awards, I have to mention him again as well.
Yeah. I don't expect him to be quite as old as that. Well,
actually, I have no idea how old everybody was.
Yeah. So I'm showcasing the next picture now, which is yourself with a few other teenagers. So if you could give me details as to those
yeah. What was quite surprising was that there were a lot of. I expected everyone to be like the same age as Grand Duke Travis or George or Kevin Ball, but actually there were a lot of young people like myself and a lot of much younger people. I think there was someone who was like 12 or 14 years old. So yeah, there were a lot of young people there, and this was at lunch on the 20. I don't know. It was on Saturday on the 20th. Yes, on the 20th. This was at lunch, and we all sat down together and talked a little bit. So on the left side, that's I'm sorry I forgot his name, but that's the king of Jupiter, of the king of Jupiter. After that comes I think that was Prince. No. That's the guy from Hurler. Sorry, I didn't remember that many names. I just remembered the country's name. So this is guy from Hurler Herzistan. After that is G4. Yeah, that's its name. G4 from Nitanistan. Then there is the president of Caria, Christopher of Cyclodia. Not sure what that was. The king? Yeah, I guess the king of Nordonia, which is actually not that far away from me, and I may visit him quite soon. And on the very left side, there's me, obviously.
Yeah. So it's a good group photo. It's obviously displaying that much younger people are and micronationalism as well, and you know that's a good thing. Showcasing the next picture now is you with the queen of some nation, I assume. or the eternal dictatress.
Ah, yes. So this is the Grand Marshal of Obsidia. She was my. I almost mentioned it earlier, but she was my second neighbor. You can see in the background there's Molossia. Right behind me, which you can see, is my display. And on the very right side, you can see the blue box in which the country of Obsidia is actually stored.
Oh wait, is that
Cyclodia,
is that
yes,
the
I was
nation
right.
that's literally just a rock?
Yes, I included a picture of that as well. I don't know if you found it, but yeah,
Oh.
that's just a rock, and she was right next to me. And actually, she posted a picture on her Twitter of me touching Obsidia,
Yeah.
and I retweeted, commenting, "It never felt so amazing touching a country."
Hey man, second base. That's not bad.
It's really cool, and actually the national animal is a snail, and the animal I used for the MOBI, the Mobile Ground Force, our army basically, is also a snail. So I had a little snail pin, and I gave that to her at the end of MicroCon as a little gift.
Very nice. Showcasing the next photograph now. Yes, we war you now.
Yes, Grand Duke Travis had a small presentation about micronational conflicts, about the good ones, the great ones, the good ones, the weird ones, and the bad ones. Although the good ones and the great ones are actually the weird ones. So he talked about wars like the Mustashistani attack on Molossia, which you may or may not know about.
I know about that, yeah.
Yeah, he talked about that. He talked about the Kick-Assian invasion of Molossia. He talked about he talked about the West Arctic coup, where Grand Duke Travis took over West Arctica again after being absent for many years. That was fantastic as well, because the coup basically was just him making a new website for West Arctica and having that as the main website, and then partying for the rest of the night.
Right. Okay.
That was the coup.
And and interesting too.
It was really amazing.
Yeah.
So he talked about how these kinds of conflicts, if they are theatrical and really thought through and well executed, how these kind of conflicts are good and should definitely be done sometimes, and how other conflicts like Molossia getting a declaration of war once a month are not really that great. And that's actually true. Molossia gets a declaration of war once a month, at least one.
Fair enough.
Month.
Fair enough.
That's actually a thing.
Showcasing the next photograph now, as yes, the same man displaying where the next MicroCon will be held, which is Las Vegas, Nevada, hosted by West Arctica and the Kingdom of Shiloh.
Hello.
And yes, 2021.
I'm going to die. I hate Las Vegas so much.
Have you ever been to Las Vegas?
Sadly, yes. I died there. I literally died there. It was so hot. There was no food. It there was nothing really interesting to do there. I was so glad when we departed on the next morning.
Well, of course there's things to do there. I mean, but by that time you'll be 21 and allowed to gamble.
Nothing in my interest, in my field of interest. So when I travel, I do cultural stuff, and Las Vegas and culture are not the best friends.
Las Vegas is very cultural. They have a little mini Eiffel Tower.
If you consider that to be cultural, right?
It's cultural, yeah. It's cultural. It's the Eiffel Tower. Only a bit smaller.
Oh my god. That yeah, it's actually quite. There's a nice thing about this. So West Arctica is obviously located in the Antarctic, which is cold, and Las Vegas is located in the desert, which is hot. So it's the exact opposite.
Wait to slap yourself.
That's a
in the
nice
face.
little thing.
Yeah. You know, wait to give yourself a slap in the face.
But I'd also like to use the chance to officially announce that I'll be doing everything in my mind to attend MicroCon 2021 in Las Vegas. It should work if it's about the same time the one this year was.
Yeah.
So hopefully I'll be there again.
I may attend 2021. Myself and President Dan Morris of New Westphalia have been discussing going, as well as
I hope so.
Jay of Winona. President Jameson Ruz of the Commonwealth of Winona. We three have been deliberating going as a group to Las Vegas MicroCon. So hopefully we're there. But it's a long time to plan ahead, and we're not really sure what's going to happen in the next 2 years. Who knows? I might be dead in 2 years.
I hope not.
I mean, yeah, you hope not, but you just can't tell.
I mean, if you keep partying every night, I don't know.
yeah. So I'm pretty sure that my level's gonna fail soon. So. So showcasing the next image is as you shaking the hand of Eric, the tyrannical dictator of the is it Erica, the Erican Empire.
Yes, he was really great too. He has this, the way he talks, I really liked it. He talks so fast, but you could still understand every single word. It's an amazing way to talk. He just randomly showed up at my display, asked me a little bit about it, and we talked a little, and then I asked him if he wanted to take a picture, and we took a picture.
Very nice.
They actually gave away 30 Solari, which is their currency, 30 Solari bill. I got a picture of the stuff I brought home with me on Twitter, and you got one too.
Yeah. So
I think you can see it. And they also handed out little flag pins with the flag of the American Empire. So that was very nice as well.
If you want to see those photos, guys, go to Obscurium's Twitter profile, where more than likely it'll be posted. Which you can just visit that page, and you can view all the items that you got, and more pictures that I haven't put up here.
Or just use the link in the comment section and just post a link to the folder where I have them.
Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll just put a link to the that photo. That photo site. Copy link address, and so you can find you can find the address to that site with all the photos under the link to the Discord server, which is excellent. So go and visit that if you want to check out more photos that I haven't put up here. There's a lot of great photos on that, which is it's just excellent. It really is. Showcasing the next photo is table with a lot of little flags.
The flags, yes. My one of my favorite parts, of course, was the many flags, because I'm the flagman, obviously. And so after these were for the gala dinner, every table had one of those displays. And when after gala dinner, I actually asked if I was allowed to take one set with me, and I have it with me here right now. So I got all the flags from MicroCon in small versions with me.
Excellent. That's excellent. So I can't remember all the nations that attended, but do you remember all the nations that were there?
Excuse me?
Do you remember all the nations that were there?
Not from my head. I remember a lot of them, like obviously the big ones: Arakan Empire, Molossia, West Arctica, Slabovia. I remember, for example, I remember Cadia being there.
Yeah.
I also remember the flag that belonged to them because it looks just like the Belgian flag with a black stripe at the bottom. I remember the Herses stamp because I talked to them a lot. I remember Psychodia because I talked to them a lot as well. I remember all the people I talked to a lot, basically.
Yeah. And
the ones with the memorable flags, like Saint Castin, because they also have the Big Dipper in that flag, like we do. So yes, it's much easier. So the first thing I remember is the flag, then the name, then the title, and then the actual name of the person.
Yeah. Excellent.
Because the flags I remember.
Yeah. Okay. Showcasing the last image that I have here. Is obviously MicroCon 2019, no matter how small. And that's just a showcase of many of the flags of all.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was just so happy to see Obscurium's flag with all the other micronational flags there.
Yeah.
And I took a photo of it because it looks nice.
Yeah, it does. It's very nice. There is one photo that I forgot to add to this slide of photos, which was the big group photo. That's the one that I forgot. You guys can check that out on the web link under the Discord link again.
I'll just post the link to the photo itself in the description. I'm sorry, in the comment section.
Yeah.
So the group photo was a mess, really. Mm-hmm. So many people, and if you were standing in the background, it was kind of hard to look through. If you on the first group photo, if you try to find Grand Duke Travis, it's actually quite challenging. He had like the worst position of all because he was tall, and if you are tall on the group photo, you gotta stand the back. If you gotta stand the back, it's hard to spot you. I'm quite hard to spot as well, but you can still kind of see me. My face looks pretty weird though, because we had to smile for so long, and one moment I seem to have let my guard down, and yeah, really weird facial expression.
Fair enough.
Yeah. You can if you search for people, you can find everyone.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna cut back to the classic background. Yeah. So why don't you tell me about what you did at MicroCon and what kind of events and just things that you did as a group or even an individual.
Well, I'll tell you about it gladly. I'll just start with the first day, the 19th of June, when I went to MicroCon. I didn't arrive on that day in Toronto, but on that day MicroCon began with the more, well, it didn't really start with the diplomatic reception. So obviously registration was open the whole day, and I went there very early. I think I arrived at about 9 or so. And the first guys I actually met was the Queen of Ruritania, the Prime Minister of West Arctica, and the I forgot your title, but G4 from Litanistan. They were in the lobby, and I immediately noticed they were going to MicroCon as well, because I know the Queen of Ruritania, and who else wears uniforms in a hotel, honestly.
Yeah.
So I talked to them a little, then I went into the main conference room, and for the rest of the day I just talked to a few people, because not that many people actually were there during the day. We did the tours later, more people arrived for that, but most people arrived later afternoon, like at between 5 and 7 p.m. Registration, everybody got a small gift bag, which contained a small medal for MicroCon, for attending MicroCon, a Slabovian flag pin, a brochure with no, not a brochure, a few pieces of paper with a map of restaurants in the area, with like a picture you could like draw on. With a llama, a Slabovian postcard with also a llama on it. If you haven't guessed yet, the Slabovians love the llamas. And what else did it contain? Oh yes, it also contained a program for MicroCon with a small introduction, all the flags and names of countries who were attending the program, obviously, and informations about Slabovia.
Yeah, tell us about the program.
Also, it started with the diplomatic reception that evening, where also most people arrived.
Yes.
I think the last one to arrive was the last major one I noticed arriving was the president of Molossia. I noticed that because when he entered the room, there was immediately a big crowd of people around him. And I didn't even I first tried to say hello to him, but was just too many people, so I went back to my display. Actually, for most of the day, I was standing at my display because I just wanted to explain stuff. I thought it was like the best thing to do with my display. Most of the other people were just walking around, but I was just stationary for most of the time. And then a minute later, I turned around. Behind me was Kevin Ball of Molossia. Because obviously he had to come to me because his display was right next to mine. That's how I was introduced to him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I most people walked around, and that's how I met most of the people as well. They just came around to me eventually. We shook hands, introduced each other, introduced ourselves, and we talked a little bit.
Yeah.
And there were just so many people there. It was really hard to talk to everyone, talk a lot to everyone. But most of the talking was done at the diplomatic reception because, yeah, we had a lot of time there. So there was just talking during the diplomatic reception. Next day was the conference. We had time to look at the displays and talk there as well, but not as much time because during the conference there were a lot of presentations, obviously. So that was the main thing on the second day.
Mm-hmm.
Presentations. I'm just going to look. Presentations. We had. There was a lot of presentations in this thing as well. Yes, here it is. So, Min Sung Kwon, the president of the Jewish Republic, said they didn't talk to him a lot. But he was the only micronationalist from Asia, from South Korea. And he talked a little bit about Asian micronations, how there were a few in South Korea. Not many in North Korea, though.
Yeah, I can't imagine that there's any micronations in North Korea.
So he talked a little bit about Asian micronations. After that, Philip Philin of the Kingdom of Peopleship talked a little bit about John Locke and the foundations of government or micro-government. Then something quite similar, a presentation came from the Zogmo of Santos, William Sergal.
Yeah.
He was very cool as well because he actually celebrates Victory Day as well, like we do. And he gave me a little St. George ribbon. Do you know the one the Russians use on Victory Day? they actually get up at 2 a.m. to watch Victory Day on May the 9th because to watch live to Russian time. Talked to him a little as well. He talked about how micronationalism is, about whether or not Korean states were like micronations, and he came to the conclusion that no, they weren't micronations, but they already had some things close to micronationalism, like there was a theater play in ancient Greece was about someone actually founding their own country.
Yeah.
Just like a micronation, basically. So that was quite cool as well. And then King Adam of Überstadt or Überstadt or Uberstadt or call whatever you want. He talked about decolonializing, because obviously many American micronations are on land that was taken away from the natives during Manifest Destiny. And he talked about how we should like decolonize and give the natives citizenship and include them more and stuff like that.
What, do you agree with that?
I do. I was able to agree with a lot of points he made. Yes, but obviously it does apply. Mainly applied to American micronations because in Europe we didn't really take the land away from any native population, or like we are a native population, so there's not that kind of problem here.
Okay. I'm just looking at my screen right now. I think some viewers might experience buffering. At the moment, yeah, but tell me about the dinner that you had, the lunch.
So after all the presentations were done, we had like about 1.5 hours time to change. I didn't have anything to do. Talked to a few other people during that time, and during the dinner, we basically we just sat down, ate a little, talked a little, and after about an hour, the award ceremony began. I wouldn't say the highlight. There were many highlights on that day, but one of the highlights definitely, if not the highlight, the award ceremony. So the Slavovians gave a small speech as well, again. And after that, so first of all, you had to register at the registration until 4 p.m. that day to hand out awards, and they had a list with everybody who registered for handing out awards, and then they called them up in, I don't know what kind of order, but they called up one after another. Some had quite short, only some short speech, like, I want to give this award to this micronation. A few others, like Santos, they actually held a very, very long speech, and what Santos did was they held a speech in English and they held a speech in Latin.
In Latin?
For whatever reason. Yes, they actually said the same thing in English and Latin. So that was quite long. My presentation or speech was quite short because I only had to give away one medal or one award. One to Slavovia for hosting MicroCon. And next time we want to make a few more, but that was kind of a last minute idea I had. We actually did, so obviously micronations like West Arctica, Molossia, Slavovia, they received a lot of awards. But I actually, to my big surprise, also received 4 awards. 3 at the award ceremony and 1 afterwards. And those included, let me just think, one from, the first one was for the King of Peopleship. It was just a piece of paper award, but still a great honor. For friendship. That was the first award I got, so I was very, very surprised about that. I'm very, very happy too. After that, the next one was from the government of West who gave an award out to young micronationalists, and because I'm apparently considered to be young as well, I mean I am kind of, so I got one of those as well, a small medal with a small gold medal with a star on it. And then, oh yeah, the Grand Duchy of Honduras gave a medal to everybody for friendship. Oh, and actually, there was a fall for the award ceremony itself. The Grand Duchy of West Arctica, I talked to Grand Duke Travis too, and I mentioned that I was German, and he mentioned that they had a lot of German citizens, and his book, The Rise, Fall, and Rebirth of West Arctica, was actually translated into German, and he had a copy of that with him. So at the award ceremony, he gave the German copy officially to me, and I actually started reading it yesterday. And he actually, sorry for saying actually so much, I just noticed, but he said, this award goes to a country so obscure we never heard of it. And I used that quote in our national anthem as the title and in the anthem itself, because it sounds great, in my opinion.
Yeah, fair enough.
And after the award ceremony was done, it took at least 1, if not 2 hours, really long, lots of awards. But after it was done, I talked to the King of Slabovia again, and he actually gave me the King's Mark of Friendship. Slabovian medal, really nice. Very, very nice of him. Yeah, so I got 4 awards and 1 book in total there. To my, again, big surprise, and I'm very thankful for that. It was just amazing.
Yeah, it sounds like fun. Yeah, I'm thinking about now going to the Las Vegas trip, to the Las Vegas MicroCon in 2021, which I have spoken about.
You should definitely come. I want to see more. I want to see. It was already hard talking to so many people, so I don't know. I'm going to handle more people, but you should definitely still come. I want to see more micronationals there. The more the better.
Yeah, it's a great thing, meeting people that are like-minded in that regard, and these kind of things are really good for networking and connecting to other people that have your interests and likes.
Yes. So I actually the people I talked a lot to, and I reformed friendships with. I actually wrote down the email addresses, and I've spent the last 2 weeks. Yes, it takes me that long to write emails. I have a problem with writing emails. But I spent the last 2 weeks writing lots and lots of emails, and I got many nice replies as well. Just yesterday I got a reply from George of Slabovia and the Prime Minister of West Arctica. Kevin Ball also sent me a reply. So yeah, connected to a lot of. Was a good way to connect to a lot of people, like you said.
Yeah.
It's so much easier to do that if you actually meet them.
Fair enough.
And so I'm actually, West Arctica is starting to plan next MicroCon right now as well. But I'm actually starting to plan next MicroCon right now too. I'm already thinking about medals I'm going to hand out. Because I'm the flag man, and I looked at the flags a lot, so I thought to myself I should give out awards for flags.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't defined that yet, and I still need to design it, but there'll definitely be an award for flags.
Fair enough.
I'm also planning the uniforms I'm going to wear, because this time I only was able to wear 1 uniform because I was only traveling with 1 backpack, and only 1 uniform was able to fit into that. So next time I'm going to send him ahead to Albuquerque to a friend, so I'll have more uniforms to wear. So I'm planning that one as well, and lots of other stuff.
Excellent.
Once I'm in planning mode, it's hard to get out of it.
Excellent. I've got a question from the live audience for you. From Daniel Morris. For for the questions section, does Obscurium have any plans in the near future? Any projects or anything?
Oh, yes, we do.
Excellent.
So I want to when winter comes and the whole vegetation goes down a little, I can start again to cut everything. It's much easier to cut everything down, and I want to make it look permanently. I want to make it give it a permanent, nicer look. So now it's growing so fast that I have to cut it down every few weeks. And if I don't cut it down every other week, it looks really like a jungle basically.
Yeah.
I know the jungle is supposed to look like a jungle, but not the whole garden is supposed to look like a jungle. So starting with winter, I want to cut everything down so it looks more civilized. So that's a big project. But we have to wait with that until winter, because now I'm going to wait for 1 month and I won't be able to care about the grass for 1 month, so it's going to look terrible when I return. And another project I'm working on is the church. I'm not that religious, but because I'm really into memorials, I mean, we do have a military memorial, North Shore memorial. I thought a memorial church would be kind of fitting, so I converted a little playhouse we had there into a church by just attaching a cross to it, basically. And this building just actually is missing 2 walls, and I want to stabilize that building and add those 2 walls so I can attach pictures to those walls inside and make it look more like a memorial church rather than just a house with a cross on it. And I also want to fix the window. So that's a big project we've been started working on as well. Lake Arkhipov is one of our big projects still as well, which is basically just to refill Lake Arkhipov. For that, we need a big, I don't know what you call it in English, a big piece of plastic to put into the hole so that water doesn't flow out, basically.
Yeah.
And I haven't had the money to buy that yet, so we haven't done that yet. So I hope next summer we'll be ready to do that. And the 2 last projects I'd like to mention are the propaganda wall, which I finished today. I'm going to post a link to that picture in the comment section right now, so you can see what the hell I am talking about. The propaganda wall is at the gatehouse. It's basically lots of posters which I attach to the wall, so it looks a little bit more customized, the whole thing.
Yeah.
So there's a map of Obscurium, there's a map of micronations around the world. They want a zone land made, flag of Obscurium, propaganda posters for the Moby, the Red Trident, for Dragon Mail, and a few other propaganda posters. So that's why I call it a propaganda wall, because it's mostly propaganda posters. Finished that project today. Kind of finished it. I still want to add more stuff, like visitor information and a mailbox, so you can actually send mail from Obscurium with Dragon Mail. Although we still need dragons for that. And I haven't found any dragons yet. And I'm beginning to think there are no dragons here in Germany.
Fair enough. I hope that answers your question, Dan.
There was... No, wait. Did I mention the last project? Let me just think. Yeah, last thing. I want us to have a currency. Even if it's only memorial coins, I want us to have actual coins. And I'm currently working. Actually, I'm finished designing them. And after I'm back from my big trip, I will start printing them.
Fair enough. Well, thanks for talking to us about MicroCon and your future projects. I have somewhat of an announcement to make myself. During late September, myself and President Dan Morris of New Westphalia are organising a meet in Manchester on the 25th and the 26th of September, and would like to invite anyone that's interested in coming to said event. If you contact myself or Dan, we'll give you we'll give you a PDF of what the 2 days is going to entail and everything else, stuff like that.
I would be happy to attend, but like I already said to you earlier, I am not quite sure I can yet. It depends on if. So I kind of wrote Nordonia an email because they said they offered me to visit them, and I wrote them an email asking if I could visit them in now end of August, beginning of September, and I haven't gotten that email back yet. So depending on whether they say yes or whether they say no. So if they say no, I obviously have the money and the time to go there. If they say yes, we'll see, because there's going to be a lot of money spending in the next few weeks because of my trip.
Fair enough. Yeah, so that's all the time that we've got for this week. Mr. Antonov, thank you for joining me and talking about MicroCon. It was really interesting, really good to hear about what actually went on there.
Always a pleasure.
Always is. Well, I was your host, Grant Magic, Magnate of the Virgan Republic, also the host of VRS. Tune in next week when hopefully I will have President Jameson Ruz of the Commonwealth of Winona on, possibly, which would be fun. It would be nice. We've been deliberating last few weeks about getting him on, and he hasn't backed out every time, but he said he's busy every time, so I'm like, fine. Yeah, so tune in next week for that, and enjoy the rest of your day, guys.